In about 10 minutes, next chance for you to go fund yourself. So listen for those keywords coming at you fast and furious. I was reading about how they did a big wide-ranging study as to whether or not pot actually boosts your creativity. Most people, irrespective of whatever they come up with, scientifically, people will swear by the fact that it boosts their creativity. This particular study said that it does not. It increases how creative you think you are.
That works.
Which, isn't that a distinction without a difference? I mean, I feel like that's kind of the same thing. Not practically, but I don't know. Doesn't make you more creative. Makes you think you're more. Listen, we've all been there. You're jotting down stuff while you're high, and then you go back to the next day. You're like, I can't use any of this. I don't even know what that says. But at the time, boy, you thought you were just. But it does make you more jovial. And couldn't we all use a bit more joviality in our lives?
Of course.
Right? They're from New Jersey. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So they say that because people are kind of more upbeat and convivial with other people, that it makes you think that your own ideas and other people's ideas are more creative. Because they legalized pot, a few years ago. There's more and more states that do it. Washington State was one of the first. And they were like, there just haven't been a whole lot of studies done on this as to whether or not it makes people more creative. And they said that it just turns out that you think you are.
But if you think you are, then aren't you?
You got to put the rubber's got to meet the road at some point. People love to tell you this or that, but then you got to go.
Did you just come up with that?
I jotted it down. I promised myself that I wouldn't give it away for free, but there it is. There it is.
Show?
Hmm?
I mean, you're paid to do the show, so you're just giving it away for free.
I'm paid, but I'm not. I'm giving this stuff away. It spreads out there. Now, all kinds of other people now, Bill, are going to be saying, when the rubber meets the road.
And they'll say, I heard that from Alan Cox.
That's
He's the first
right.
one that's ever said it.
He made it up. So, yeah. But listen, who cares, right? There's some people, they aren't worried about their creativity when they're getting high. That's not their primary focus.
Yeah,
They want to chill or for pain relief or whatever. And who knows how much more creative an individual could be if they weren't racked with pain. That just takes over your brain. People have chronic pain, I assume. I've heard stories. So they're like, instead of ignoring what pot can do, we should study it more. Be interesting. Be important. Why shouldn't we know? Otherwise, we're just spinning in a world of reefer madness types.
Ooh.
And you don't want that. It's terrible. Alan Cox Show, not the after hours line. You leave voicemails there, but the little talkback button there if you listen on the iHeartRadio app. Always leave us messages there.
Alan, hate the show. Hey, how much do we have to pay Mary to have her wear a wire at Thanksgiving just so we can get some clarity and some insight on what they argue about all the time? Hate the show.
It's not all the time, and it's politics.
But it will be at some point. It's not all the time. It's not constant. But it is always, it always comes up.
And
You talk about how much your family argues.
We had this revelation on air that if I didn't say anything, it probably wouldn't turn into an argument. Like if my brothers said...
You start these?
No. If my brothers say they're off comments, if I were to let it go, there would be no argument. Because my sisters don't say anything. My sisters kind of sit it out.
That's what I do when I'm home. If my mom says something, I let it go.
Both my sisters let it go. It's generally just me and my brother Kyle that will go 28-hour workday. We're the ones that will go at each other. And then Tony will pop in every now and then my sisters often will just sit and listen or crack a joke or whatever. But 99%,
Try to diffuse
99% of the time it's me and my brother Kyle. But if I were to let it go, I bet there would be no problems. But I can't let it go when he says some of these things where I'm like,
then
you're
wear
an
a
idiot.
wire and start talking to Kyle.
Okay, I'll record it on my phone.
Record it. Except we need his permission to air it. That's the problem.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
No, I don't think that's FCC.
Yeah, we do.
I took my FCC training. It didn't
Oh,
say.
did you?
It
Yes.
didn't say anything about
Oh, well, that's good to know. I'll tell you, for people who stare at the skies, Boy, and I'm among you. Very excited that this full beaver moon is coming, by the way, in just a few days. It's the last total lunar eclipse of the entire year. I was explaining the concept of the lunar eclipse to my daughter the other morning. And the entirety of North America is going to get a full show of this beaver moon.
Yeah, they will.
For the, in a few days.
They're calling it the basic instinct moon.
Yes, they are.
Full moon beaver, blaring in now. Full moon beaver, blaring in now.
So we'll see it in this part of the country pretty well, and then up in Canada, and, it'll be very late. You'll have to stay up late to see it. You think these things are worth staying up for? Do you stay up for these things still?
I don't.
I do. I had a telescope phase when I was a kid. I got my parents to buy me a sizable telescope. And then I would point this thing. Now, for those of you who are maybe novices to telescope or sky gazing, I'll give you a little tip. Again, something else I'm giving away for free. A little tip if you're getting yourself into telescoping, point it up.
You don't look at your carpet through a telescope.
I mean, you can, but you're not really going to see what you want to see. You'll just see tiny little clips of Fritos in the pile, but really, really magnified. Like that super magnified photo of the ant that was going around? Did you see that?
So creepy.
It's terrifying. As if I didn't hate ants enough. So we're going to get a window of 3 hours and 40 minutes to see that full beaver moon, which is going to be exciting. They call it that because, why do they call it that?
I just heard of it today.
I don't.
You've just now heard of a beaver moon?
I
A
never
full
heard of it
beaver
either.
moon.
Oh, I know, because it's so beautiful that when you look up at it, you go, damn.
Full moon beaver, blaring in now.
Yeah.
Full moon beaver, blaring in now.
And my dumb song explains the whole thing, Bill. I don't know what's left to
Blurring here and there.
be confused about. It was the time that they would set traps before the swamps froze, back when people were trading fur trappers, right? Every so often you'll hear about fur trappers. I mean, that's what we called ourselves in college.
Hey.
Yeah, all right, man. Yeah. So that beaver moon, we're going to see it in a few days. On my mother's birthday, by the way, and I can't, frankly, think of a better way. Of course, in a year in which we lost my dad, I can't think of a better way to celebrate my mom's birthday than to send her an autographed picture of the full beaver moon.
Who's going to autograph it?
I am.
Oh. Not the moon?
No, I am. I'm her son. The beaver moon is not her son.
I don't know.
I'm her son.
You said
Her
she
eldest.
You said she was hippy dippy. She might have given
She
birth
was when
to
I was a
moon.
kid, but I think that was just a way to keep me in line. Nevertheless, I'll sign it and I'll send it. I always send my mom flowers for her birthday. And I think this time I'll ask them if they can include a picture of the full beaver moon. Now, granted, it would have to be the last one we had. I don't know when the last one was.
Oh, it was like a week ago.
A week ago. So there you go. I will send her a
that-
photo of last
They're
week's.
not that special.
Hopefully she won't throw it in the fireplace. The next total eclipse that North America can see will be March 14th, 2025. By that time, hopefully the water wars won't have started. But for you amateur astronomers, it's interesting. It's fun. So just be aware of that there's a beaver moon that's coming next week. And maybe you can send your own, maybe this is a way for your own mother to hear from you, right? Provided she's alive. Don't send autographed lunar photos to your dead mom. That's just poor form.
I feel like my dad would be way more into this than my mom.
Well, send him an autographed photo.
No.
Dear Dad, love Bill.
No.
From Bill? To Bill.
I just
From Bill.
I'll get him a book.
Full Moon Beaver, blaring
Is it going to be a book on moons?
No, it's gonna be probably about castles.
Tassels?
Castles.
Like on shoes? Like on graduation mortarboards? A
Like
book on tassels?
A coffee table book about castles, and you got a lot of big pictures.
Oh, castles.
Yeah,
Do the castles have tassels on them?
Some might. Some
Oh.
might.
All right.
He likes castles.
Will it be a hassle to get that castle book?
Probably will be.
All right.
Just so we can keep this going.
Was it written by Elizabeth Hasselbeck?
I don't think she's ever. I don't think Hasselbeck has ever written a castle hardback.
No, that's a bummer. Hey, I've got some money here for you. It's $1,000. It's a chance to go fund yourself. Who couldn't use a grand, right? Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword cash at WMMS.com. That's cash. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
If you do listen to us on iHeartRadio from outside the great state of Ohio, tell me where. Just so I know. Bob listens in Palm Bay, Florida. Michelle is in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Charlie listens in Martin, Kentucky. And you can always leave us messages, too.
Listen, Alan. This is Cody from Lorain, by the way, your favorite parts delivery driver, saying hi to my buddy Frank. But listen, Alan. If you get a very, very well-aged steak, a very expensive steak, which I think you as the millionaire has enough money to afford, then you don't need to season it. In fact, seasoning it covers up the flavor. Right? Hey.
Yeah, I don't want all the meat nerds hitting me up, right? I had my smoking meats phase and that whole bit, and you know, I'm a carnivore. I like steak. Will I spend $2,100 on a 100% grass-fed half cow from Simpson Farms? No, I will not. I will not.
You will for your friend Bill for Christmas? That's very kind of you.
$2,100 present.
Will I spend $4,300 on the whole cow? That's 200 pounds of grass-fed beef.
That's so much meat.
That's 400 pounds. I'm sorry, half cow is 200 pounds. And they'll let you pay it in installments.
Oh,
Imagine that. Imagine getting someone as a gift, because we've gotten my father-in-law things from Omaha Steaks and things like that. But you can go to Simpson's Meats online, and you can order a half or whole cow. And the whole cow will cost you $4,200. And they have the option for you to pay it in installments.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, but if anybody's going to buy that, they're not going to buy it on installments.
That's not true.
You think
I'm sure
it
people
is?
yeah.
So you go, hey, listen, because I think this is a very esoteric purchase. This is a very specific kind of thing.
But if you're very specific about your diet and the quality of meat in your life,
Well,
then you're going to say, hey, I don't got all the money right now, but I'll pay in installments.
You want to spend
I'm
a
going to eat
year
it in installments. Might as well.
right.
You
Buy
want
it in
to
installments.
spend a year paying off your cow meat?
But that's your meat for the whole year.
Maybe. I don't know how quickly. If you order a whole cow, who says it's for the year?
I have a friend.
My
Do
parents
ya?
do this all the time where they'll buy a cow and just.
Who did?
My parents do it and they keep it in a freezer.
I have a friend who has a farm, and that's what she does. Is she sells cows. She'll butcher them for you, cut them up, package them up, and you throw it in the freezer and pull it out as you need it. She won't like cut it up into steaks and stuff, but
They
legs,
section
its
it up,
arms,
yeah,
its
yeah.
stomach, things like that.
Will
Arms.
she
Those cow
sell
arms,
you?
so I love me a cow arm.
I guess they only have 4 legs, not 2 and 2.
Will
It's
she?
legs and its arms.
What does a whole cow cost?
I don't know. I've
from
never
her?
bought one.
Oh. Is it grass fed?
Yeah, it's her farm. She takes care of them. No, all that non-antibiotic BS.
Now, if you really want to get a good kind of pre-tenderizing of the meat, this is what I've understood. A buddy of mine runs a farm back in the Chicago suburbs, and I'll buy one of his gravel-fed cows.
Ooh, nice and heavy. It's got 4 stomachs.
I'll buy
let
one
him
of.
enjoy his joke.
I will
Let
buy.
him laugh that
Trying to
hard
help.
at his own
I'm
joke.
trying to help.
He's slapping the table.
I will buy one of his gravel-fed cows because it really, I don't. It does something to the meat. Now it's a $9,000 piece of real estate, but boy, I'll tell you what. When Christmas comes, when Easter comes, yeah, sure, everybody gets real tired eating beef by the end of the year. Everybody is beefed the F out. But it's an investment. People think land is the only investment. Meat is an investment.
Especially when it's gravel fed. And some people
That-
will take a cow like that for granted.
Bill's not the only one who can
Just
audibly
just
sigh
let it be
here on the
quiet.
show.
Let
by
it
the
be
way.
quiet for a second. You need to just sit.
Anyway, there's a lot of different ways you can go with that.
Does the gravel tenderize it from the inside?
That, I believe, is the prevailing wisdom.
Like
All I know
full-on?
is it's buttery soft.
Oh,
It
wow.
is You know how you got to pull the buckshot out of a turkey for Thanksgiving, right? You really got to make sure that
All the gravel out of
it's picked clean. You got to make sure that you get the gravel out of the cow. But these farms will do it, right? They butcher their own cattle. And so if you're going to buy a half or a whole cow, they're going to send you all the cuts you want. Now, obviously,
What
you've
about-
got to have a freezer that can accommodate this level of animal.
Well, you have another like a chest freezer in the.
I have a chest freezer,
Garage.
but I don't know if it can hold 6 fillets, 8 strips, 10 ribeyes, a pound of flank steak, 4 pounds of skirt steak, 8 pounds of stew meat packs, 1 pound of flat iron, 2 pounds of tri-tip. I don't know if it can hold all them chuck roast and brisket.
skirt, skirt.
Rip Migos. Ah, boy. Yeah. So anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Click to pay. A whole cow. Add to cart. There it is. How do they fit a
Get
cow in a
delivered.
cart?
Yeah, how does it get delivered?
Oh, how does it get
cart.
delivered? All right. $4,275. Oh, that's a half cow. Tell you what.
You could go on such a nice vacation.
Here's how I don't like to scam people, but here's how I'm going to do this, right? Instead of buying a whole cow, I'm going to buy 2 half cows.
What if you get the same half?
Oh.
You get 2 left halves.
Right.
Or 2 front halves. And no back half.
Left halves. I like the notion of them cutting it lengthways.
I don't know how to butcher a cow.
Well, you saw Terrifier. It's probably
no, I did
very
not. Brian saw Terrifier.
probably very similar to that.
I don't know if they
He was
go-
making skirt steaks out of that chick.
They might go front and back
Mm-hmm.
or half and half.
Well, anyway.
Or maybe the half you get is the head and the ass, and then you don't get the middle. It's still technically half a cow.
Oh, looks like a weeble with feet. Yeah, so I know people are like, oh, if you get like really high-end steaks, you don't have to season them. And I'll take your word for it,
You don't have to, sure.
you know. But people who are really into meats are like, they're like, oh, it smells like cheese. I'm like, is that what I want? I want steak that smells like cheese? I
No.
want steak that tastes like steak.
I haven't made it like a steak in forever. I have not made one since I've moved in with Brian.
What?
Because
well,
he's a
get on it.
vegetarian. So I
yeah.
usually make things that I can just add meat to.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm making myself a steak for dinner, what am I going to make him?
Fajitas?
But I
It
make
is
fajitas
Fajita
too.
Tuesday.
You can have steak fajitas.
I don't want steak fajita. I'm not going to buy a nice cut of steak to put in fajitas. That's something you enjoy. Maybe a little rice and some Brussels sprouts.
I don't know, just make them some mashed potatoes or something.
Hey, babe, here's some cold asparagus.
Yummy.
Hope you like it.
Alan, I hear the marble on that gravel-fed beef is fantastic. I get it. Well done. Alan, we buy a quarter cow every year, pay off over 3 months. We are a family of 5. That meat lasts almost the whole year. Almost the whole year. I gotcha.
Take
On what?
that.
What did you get him on,
Take
Al?
that. Reminds me of, I don't know if I've ever told you guys about Contented Linda Grace.
Yeah,
I've
you
never heard
have.
this. Please tell us again.
I've got to go to a
Up,
break.
Mary.
I've got to go to a break. If you want to text 35192, AlanCoxShow.com. That's where you can watch. And wherever you are, you can listen throughout North America and beyond on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.